Again, we're back.
Yes.
And of course, we have to thank some friends watching us right now. Lady Elvis of Toronto, Zina Zagala, and the president of Kababaihang Rizalista here in Toronto, Rose Cruz. They're watching us right now while having their break.
That's good.
All right, thank you very much, ladies. And of course, going back to Simon Biles,
Simone Biles, yeah.
yeah, mental health issue here. I go with you. That Simon is doing the right thing of resting. You know why? I was just wondering. Simone Biles has signed contracts. Her team signed contract with major sponsors in the U.S. that supports her and the Team USA campaign. I was wondering how they accept or rather they take Simone Biles' decision. Do you think the sponsors are spending millions for Biles, Simone, and the Team USA reacting on her decisions to withdraw from actual competition?
Um,
How do you look at it?
I don't know. I usually look at this endorsements as a contract, right?
Yes.
So regardless of whether you withdraw or not, um, the contract still stands. I'm not sure, to be
Mm-hmm.
honest. I would like to think that, it's like how in soccer or in any other game, basketball, when you have an injury and you sit down for a certain number of, days or
Oh,
weeks,
yeah, yeah.
the contract still stands. If you withdraw, I don't know if it's different, but,
Yeah,
um,
because somewhere, somehow, I think there's no difference with an injury and what Simone Biles is experiencing right now.
yeah,
That's mental health.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
of course, the reason why I read so much about this mental health issue of Simone Biles,
Mm-hmm.
and what she was saying is that in her mind, she doesn't believe herself na she's just playing for herself satisfaction.
Mm-hmm.
But she believes that she's doing it not for herself, but for other people.
Yes.
And that is really a mental case.
Mm-hmm.
She's been away for a year, more than a year,
Mm-hmm.
when the Olympics was stopped and rescheduled for this one,
Yeah.
for July 2021. And see,
Mm-hmm.
probably the way they stop training after so many months of preparation for this historic event in Tokyo,
Yeah.
it has really affected Simone, of course,
Yeah.
mentally,
Exactly.
physically,
Mm-hmm.
everything that she was not able to show it.
Yeah, and you consider that this athletes, they stay away from home for a long period of time as they do their training.
Mm-hmm.
They stay away from family in terms of, the surrounding that you're used to. So
Okay.
you end up going somewhere else, um, for a long period of time. It messes with your, day to day thinking and how you align
Mm-hmm.
your cognitive with regular life. So I think it has taken a toll on her. By the time it is now Olympics, consider all the anxiety, consider
Yes.
all the attention that comes with it, and you know, I think it's just best for her to take a seat back and just.
Although she is the team captain of Team USA here in the Olympics, and I believe she's only 20 years old, a veteran of Olympics and other world championship, and
Mm-hmm.
giving America
Mm-hmm.
the many golds that went with her participation in Team USA.
Yeah.
And probably that was too much for her now to bear, put everything in her shoulder, to
Yeah.
carry in this
Exactly.
momentous event that
Mm-hmm.
because she's the world champion in some categories here,
Mm-hmm.
and she's bringing along with her all this anxiety that you were saying, the
Yeah.
stress of
Stress.
stopping and then going again and then stopping again, the quarantine, the pandemic that could be brought by some other athletes in their village where they live.
Yes.
The fear that they might be infected could be another factor, right?
Exactly. You know, that's what I'm saying. Like this Olympics is different. It's not like any other. I'm not sure when the flu outbreak. There was a flu outbreak almost 100 years ago. I don't know how they. I don't even think there was Olympics at that time. But now you're considering the Olympic. The IOC has spent a lot of money
Mm-hmm.
and has insisted on putting out this event during a pandemic. Of course, uh, a lot of athletes are gonna pull out of the event, or
Yes.
something like this is gonna happen because there's a lot of shifts in
Yeah.
how you're doing things because it's not a it's unprecedented times.
Correct.
Yeah.
Look what happened here. What you said, the American pole vaulter is the world champion,
Yes.
defending champion this event, and all of a sudden she was booted out of the competition because he was tested positive for COVID.
Exactly.
What will happen to his? Oh my!
Yeah, that's
You
the
could
thing.
not. We could not say.
Mental. Yeah, he's going to have to deal with, even though he really wanted to go and compete.
Yes, you are very prepared for this. You spend so much time and effort.
And then now you have to deal with the fact that you're not in it.
Yes, correct.
I usually look at these things like it's like losing somebody you love.
Oh,
All of a sudden,
yeah.
you cannot be with them, and then it's the same thing. All of a sudden, you cannot compete in something that you really like doing. You've been preparing for months on end, and then now all of a sudden you have to go home without a medal.
Yes, and the mere fact that you were booted out not on anything else but the pandemic that destroys the world economy, sports, and everything was the culprit of your predicament experiencing right now in Tokyo.
Yes,
Wow, it's so hard to bear that.
it is hard.
Uh, by the way, you were an athlete before. Have you ever experienced, because you were a rugby player, have you ever experienced something like that? That injury, not a pandemic, before injury, and then you are prepared to play now, preparing physically. That something happened to you that you will not play.
Not to this extent.
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
yeah, but even just the pain of not accompanying your team to
Mhm.
play. For me, it happened one time. We were playing against the other universities in the region in East Africa,
Mhm.
and we were to travel to Uganda, and I could not travel to Uganda because I did not have the resources to
Oh,
enable me to
okay.
travel because people were paying at that
Ah,
back then.
you have to pay your own.
Yeah, pretty much, because in at that level, you are doing the sports because you love it.
Yes,
It's,
yes.
your institution didn't even care if you guys were eating during competitions.
Uh-huh.
So just having to withdraw from the team, it messes with you mentally or even just emotionally. For me,
Uh-huh.
mostly it was emotionally because these are people you train with every day,
Uh-huh.
and then you're supposed to travel with them, and then you
You
cannot
were
travel
out.
with them. And then it has a shift on the team because they're depending on you for something.
Oh, correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So it's really unfortunate.
And the team could not expend or rather spend enough fund for you just to go with them?
At the time, my coach actually offered, but it was late after I had already told
Oh.
them that I'm not going. I did not prepare. So the day they were leaving, he gives me a call. He actually called my mom. I did not have a cell phone back
Mhm.
then. He called my mom and asked my mom if he can pay my, travel, whatever.
And the expenses
Yeah.
that occur.
But it was already too late.
How devastated when you did not go with your team then?
It's sad because now,
Affected you,
Yeah.
probably
No.
your whole body, mind.
yeah. So now imagine after preparing for weeks, you cannot go. So you're sitting at home doing nothing. You're used to going to practice. You're used to hanging
Yeah.
out with your teammates. Even after games, you hang out with teammates, talk about the game, watch different games. So now imagine, for example, the pole vaulter has to be on
Mhm.
lockdown, be alone after being with people
Yes.
for all this time. So
And he is expected to win.
Yeah,
He's a favorite to win again another gold for that event, and then suddenly,
yeah,
wow.
yeah. So it's really hard.
Did it come to your mind then not to engage in any sporting event like that after you were not included in in the
No,
team that
no,
participated in Uganda?
no, no. For me, it wasn't. It was just something I took it. I took it lightly.
Ah, okay.
I just dealt with the emotions. Maybe on
The
a
emotion, the
day or two.
emotional aspect of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a day or two, and I was okay. I was back to my normal and regular life.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. You were young then, of
I was
course.
young, of course.
So easy to move
easy
on.
to move on, yeah. And I didn't have that much of a spotlight. So imagine this guys, the whole world is watching.
Yes.
The whole your country that
Yeah.
you're representing is watching. So there's a lot of pressure. The spotlight comes with all this. It's hard to really deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, another Paul Bortes from Argentina,
Mm-hmm.
and he is Argentina's best bet to win a medal here in this event.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, pandemic is pandemic.
Yeah.
That's why the 2020 Olympic was postponed for almost a year, simply because they could not avoid, or rather, they could not find a measure to stop this pandemic, even in the athletes' village, you know.
Yeah.
But of course, the athletes are really peeved up to compete.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them, more than the 6,000, there are more than 6,000 athletes converging now in Tokyo,
Yeah.
and all the amenities were there provided by the host, and spending not less than $35 billion just to stage the postponed 2020 Olympics. All right, we go on. You know that as what you said a while ago, Canada has made some one athlete. I forgot the name of the athlete now, who is holding the record of most medals won in the Olympics. She's a swimmer,
A Canadian or
Canadian. She won her sixth medal last night in the 200-meter breaststroke or butterfly.
mm-hmm.
And she's now the owner of 6 Olympic medals, surpassing the records by Hughes and other Canadian Olympian.
Uh-huh. Is it what, Penny Oleksiak?
Yes,
Oleksiak.
Olepsiak, yeah.
Uh-huh.
For what she did, she's now the only Canadian athlete that possesses the 6 medals.
Oh, all six are hers?
Yes, all 6 in swimming event only. It's like Michael Phelps did,
Yeah,
right?
yes,
Remember
I
Michael
remember
Phelps?
that.
11 gold medals in all the 11 events that he
Yes.
competed.
Yeah.
He just lost in 1 or 2 won by Russian and European.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There is no Michael Phelps now.
Yeah, he's retired.
He retired. But of course, there are young athletes, but others are veterans winning the gold in some events.
Yes.
Well, I think there are 36. Well, well, mag-break muna kita. We have a break. I'm getting some emergency call. All right?